Hello everyone, I'm Cesar and I'm back with another video for Broke Exile, this time with the second episode of the Broke Exile, the series where I play builds that can do tier 16 maps on the lowest budget possible. And for this episode, the build is Self-Cast Exsanguinate Trickster. As usual, you can find the POV link in the description of the video, and there you can check the passive tree, the skill gems, the items, and also in the notes section some extra information about the build, including the prices for the different items, the gems, and the total price, which is around 175 chaos. Now keep in mind that Crucible League is basically over, so the prices may change depending on when you're watching this video. So this build can be a good league starter potentially for the new league coming in 2 weeks. It really depends on the patch notes, which are coming next Thursday. If nothing changes, I think the build will be fine if you want to league start it. And also, it depends on the price of the weapon called Iron Point. This league 3.21, the weapon was actually very cheap for the entire league. According to PoE Ninja, it was between 5 and 10 chaos, even at league start. This weapon used to be expensive because Seismic Trap used to be very popular, but it is not anymore, so it's not expensive, and hopefully, if it stays that way, I think this build will be fine for the league start. So this build is a really nice mapper, and the single target is not bad. We deal physical damage over time, and for our damage we are using Exsanguinate. This is a physical spell, linked with chain support and unleash support. It makes it really nice for mapping. So those two links are mandatory. The other links, Brutality, Cruelty and Energy Leech for the extra damage. We are also using Corrupting Fever on a 5 link with Brutality, Swift Affliction, Efficacy, and the Essence modifier, Socketed Gems deal 30% more damage over time, which we can get on our gloves using an Essence of Delirium. So yeah, you want to craft yourself your own gloves. I recommend that you use an energy shield base because this build is a hybrid life and energy shield. You also want energy shield base on your helmet and also on your boots. Your body armor can be hybrid, evasion and energy shield, so you can make some use of the escape artist ascendancy node. So I am using 2 cold iron points. These are really nice cheap weapons. We get a lot of levels on our Exsanguinate, Corrupting Fever, and all the other physical gems as well, like Herald of Purity, and also Pride. And we're running those 2 auras, as well as Discipline and Grace. If you want to be more tanky, you can swap Pride for Determination. If you want more damage, keep using Pride. And also important to link Life Tap to all the active skill gems, so we don't use mana in any of our skills, so we can reserve all the mana for our auras. The belt, the Burden of Truth, is kind of important. It's just a very defensive belt that gives us some protection against chaos damage for our energy shield. And also we get a lot of energy shield. This build, I believe, is giving me like 600 energy shield, so yeah, that's pretty nice. On the passive tree, we want to get as many different masteries as possible, so we take advantage of this ascendancy node, Polymath, 3% more damage for each different type of mastery. Now, it's important to know that For example, I have 2 life masteries. I am only getting 3%. I'm not getting 6%. If I had all the different life masteries, I would only get 3% as well. So yeah, you want to get different. So physical, life, evasion, flasks, etc. I think I have 11 in total, if I'm not mistaken, 11 different types of masteries. And I'm also using a large cluster setup with increased physical damage. 9 passive, so it's cheaper, it's much cheaper in fact than 8 passive, especially at least start. You want any notables that you can get that give you increased physical damage. Also for medium clusters, you want physical damage over time, with exposure therapy for the extra damage over time multiplier. And ideally you want flow of life, so you also get life from the medium clusters, but those are much more expensive than this particular medium cluster. One small mana reservation efficiency, so we can feed our 4 auras. You can get Grace or Pride. Grace is nice for the extra resistances. And I'm also using a couple of jewels with double damage over time multiplier and physical damage over time multiplier. These are actually kind of cheap. I found them between 7 and 10 chaos. So yeah, not very expensive, and I'm using 2. And that is the build, right? So I hope you find this useful, and I hope you enjoy the build if you decide to play it. Especially the next league. I guess we'll have to wait for the patch notes, right? But thank you very much for watching, and take care. Bye bye.